Shalom, shalom. Kal halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone, and shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,000 and 1/3, the elect men, women, and children. May peace and blessings be upon your households. All right. And obviously, you don't know that Trump has got the National Guard, rolled out in terms of so-called policing neighborhoods that, this is what rolled out in Washington, D.C. And Washington, D.C. is the capital. So, they're going to start it there and it's going to roll out to all the other major cities. Now, if you look at the list of cities that are pushing this deployment of the National Guard, which is a prelude to martial law, you can still walk around at the moment. You can still sort of, bop down the street. You can still go out and get a milkshake and burgers or whatever. You can still go shopping. You can still do certain things. Okay, their presence is there now, and their presence is being felt, right? And they're deploying all these troops, right, or National Guard, if you want, whatever term they call it, but it is a martial law. But it's at the beginning stages, at infancy stages, which is that infant's going to quickly grow, all right, into full-on man very soon, all right, okay. Where these motherfuckers, these troops are really going to get down and dirty, they're really going to get down and dirty, and they deploy them in most of the hubs of, most of the core cities and states or whatever, around America, where the majority of the people there are brown people, so-called black people, Hispanics, and natives. All right. We already know what's been happening with the Northern Kingdom. The Northern Kingdom being so-called Latinos and Native Indians. All right. We know already what's happening with them. And a lot of you Southern Kingdom, so-called black, so-called so-called Haitian, so-called West Indian, were saying, send them spics back, or send them, people back. They're taking our jobs. Some of you Jakes might have grievances with them because you asked out Maria, and Maria said no to you, and you got that hatred in your heart for the Northern Kingdom. Whatever the reason may be, that natural hatred is there, because that's Deuteronomy 28 verse 54, where our eyes shall be evil towards our own brother. All right, and that's there, for the most part. All right, especially in Southern California. And other states too, Texas, I believe, as well. But most Northern and Southern Kingdoms stick together to a certain degree. All right. And now you thought, okay, they're only going to get rid of the Latinos. Now they're coming for you. Now they're making you the target. All right. It's the same with the C-19 when that exactly initially began. Who was a target? They had a few Mobite Chinese actors playing the victim, being spat on, or being, I don't know, spitballs being hurled at them, or some other lightweight bullshit that was happening to these gooks, because they said the disease started in China or whatever. These gooks were eating snakes, which they eat all sorts of shit. All right. But then afterwards, what did that Edomite lady, or the Amalekite lady I believe she was from Israel, said? She said the problem is the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. What the hell has the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian got to do with the C-19 when it never began in some barrio or some reservation or some hood in America or any other part of the world? Didn't it start in China? So what are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives got to do with it? Right? And a lot of you camps that are outside of Great Millstone can't even put two and two together, especially black-only Israelites. Why? They're targeting the natives and Hispanics as well. Why not the East Indians collectively? Why not the Arabs collectively? Why not the South African Edomites? Why not other nations that can't speak English? And even if they can speak English, they've only been in the country for a short period. Why aren't they coming for them? Why are they coming for the indigenous natives? Why are they coming for so-called black people that have been in America for more than 500 years, or up to 400 to 500 years? Yeah? Why? Because you are the Israelites. They want to get rid of you. All right? All right? These crackers, they think that, okay, if we delete all niggers or ninjas, right? Whether they got straight hair, woolly hair, whatever, green eyes, blue eyes, we delete all of them, we can keep ruling, we can get the birthright back, which was never theirs to begin with, the so-called white man. All right? Okay? Now you gangster jakes are gonna be tested. You like to tell everyone check in. You like to, jump around wearing ski masks, with your little frail bodies with a Glock in your hand with an extended clip. You like to do that. Especially you Benjamin West Indian Jakes, man. I ain't gonna call you Benjamin, I'll call you West Indian or Jamaican Jakes. Like to always talk about lick shot, 2 gunshot. You know? You know? You like to talk about this lick shot that. Bo, 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 bo. Now do the bo, 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 bo. You Benjaminite Jakes when these crackers, these troops come into Brooklyn, Jamaica, Queens, parts of DC, parts of Los Angeles, parts of Northern Cali, wherever you blacks and Hispanics are, these motherfucking troops are going to come there. Where's your gangster shit then? All right? Where's your gangster shit then? But Judah will be risen up, okay? This is going to be a wake-up call for a lot of you Jakes, because there's elect members scattered everywhere, all right? But collectively, you 2/3 niggas are going to go, man. You 2/3 Jakes are going to go because you are part of the problem. You're that same wicked generation that was deleted in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? All right? And some of you are probably fags anyway, and dykes. There's a female there, look. You lot practice all sorts of shit. Running trains on a woman. Probably running trains on each other, man. You sick fucks. You're worse than the so-called white man. And this is the nigga is the so-called white man's creation anyway. Psalms 83. They try to cut us off from being a nation. And this is one of the ways they create this invention of the so-called white man. Paying the so-called black woman to keep the black man out of the house, or the Native Indian man or the Hispanic man out of the house. So children grow up bugged out, emotional, crazy, with they're 6 feet tall, got the strength of a full-grown man, but these motherfuckers have got the emotions of a woman. So that's a dangerous combination. That's volatile. That's like having have you seen Superman? Is it the first one or the second one, where he comes and cools off for some science lab or whatever because the liquid in the science lab was getting too hot and it was melting the floor and destroying everything. I don't know which one it was. I think, oh yeah, it's part 2. It was part 2. Yeah, it was part 2 with General Zod. I think it was part 2. Yeah. Right? These ninjas are like that liquid, man. You get it too hot, they start burning through everything. They're dangerous. All right? So the Lord is sending Esau, the so-called white man, which is Yahweh Shemeshai's sword, to come and delete you ninjas. And they're coming. All right? And look, they've got your faces all over DC. Look at that. They've got your faces, Jake. When the so-called, listen, the so-called white man, right? Esau, the so-called white man, is the biggest murderer, enslaver, thief, cannibal, faggot, zoophilia, PDF file, everything disgusting in the world. They're the biggest murderer. They're the most uncivilized people. They're not even people, for fuck's sakes, right? We understand that. We know that the so-called white man is the biggest murderer. We understand that. They're not fucking sending these troops to so-called white man areas where they're probably still hanging niggas to this day. But nobody knows about it because the town is involved, the sheriff is involved, everybody's involved. All right? But the Lord is going to deal with his house first. He's going to deal with his people first. All right? Judgment must begin in the house of the Lord, King James Version. Let's go to that scripture. Now, these guys, or pick guys like them, what you call YNs, which is young ninjas, right? Some of them, most of them are 2/3, right? Okay? Now, they are technically they're Israelites, right? So they are technically, even though they may not be in the truth, they are, they're Israelites. So they are the part of the house of God, all right? On the other side, they will be completely. But on this side, they're outside of that realm Hence the reason they're 2/3. Okay, so 1 Peter 4:17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? So this is judgment going to be with jakes that are in the truth, right? That are that are snakes or whatever, that are evil. Example would be RUIC, the gorilla dude that likes to bend over, behave like a woman. And then the Lord says, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? Those same jakes. We saw what the end of his big pun was. Because when I'll give you an example. When priest Bunloya, rest in peace. I mean, the brothers, in the spiritual realm, he'll be back soon in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Hashai. Priest Bunloya, and I still watch his videos to this day. Repeat. Yeah, it's a rerun all the time, boy, believe. He said that big pun in that his crew, Terror Squad, they were in a limousine and they squirted water on Ben Lawyer and some of his some of the prophets that were teaching at the camp. They squirted water on them, and then I think priest Ben Lawyer, sent out a curse to Big Pun. They thought it was a joke. They thought it was sweet. You know what happened? What happened to the individuals that called what was the one? Bald head. Let me get that scripture. Well, anyway, a curse was sent out via priest Ben Lawyer to Big Pun, something along like the Most High's gonna get your fat ass or whatever. Because the brothers were preaching, man. They were teaching on the street, and these motherfuckers, Big Pun and them, lot go by and squirt water on the men while they're teaching. What kind of shit is that? All right, that's worthy of death. Bald head, King James Version. Second Kings 2:23. Second Kings. Oh, it's Elijah, right? Second Kings 2:22. I'm gonna play in a second. Just gotta. Okay, yeah. So it was Elisha, right? And let's go to. All right, let's go to Second Kings 2:22. So the waters were healed unto this day, according to the saying of Elisha, which he spake. Verse 23. And he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. So basically, YNs, right, were calling Elisha bald head, disrespecting the man, all right? And this is the ancient world. Men were men, right? A lot bigger, a lot stronger, right? And these probably YNs at that time, probably really, these are just words that probably really pissed Elisha off, right? And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yashai. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood and tear 42 children of them. Okay, so 2 female bears or she-bears came and juked and then just obliterated those children like you would chop up herbs in a blender, right? That's what happened. All right. Now we see. where's the we see this same generation back today. And the Lord's going to use a multitude of ways, right, to delete them. And martial law is the beginning stages. There's going to be animals loose, right, from the zoo, right? You're going to have people with pet, I don't know, Edomite, so-called white people have all kinds of weird pets, all right? You're going to have Jake out there, we know, with some exotic pets, some, I don't know, cobras and pythons and motherfucking, I don't know, some of them, might have some crazy dogs, that they've crossbred or whatever. Then you got Esau and the heathen nations with, that love pets a lot. They also have all sorts of exotic animals. You've got the zoos opening up. No one's taking care of them. Animals coming out. You're crazy motherfuckers everywhere. You've got martial law troops. There's going to be a multitude of ways the Lord's going to take you Jakes out, man. All right? And these are the beginning stages, man. Okay? Because you're that same wicked generation. Where's your gangsterism now, man? All the hell that you put on our people, man. Elder Yashawamba even said it, that his mother's friend, a 77-year-old woman, Elder Yashawamba of the Great Millstone, the elder of the Great Millstone Dallas camp. Elder Yashawamba said that his mother's friend, who's a 77-year-old woman, close to damn near 80 years old, an elder Jake woman, man. Some YNs came in, I think they probably punched her in the head or something, or done something along those lines, where they physically harmed her, man, and robbed her. What the fuck is wrong with you people, man? Probably got the butt of a gun, hit an elderly woman across the head with it. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Right now, these crackers are coming into your neighborhood. Now you're saying, oh, well, you're pulling up. Now you're fucking scared. Where are your ski masks now? Where's you at now? Dressed all in black, trying to look gangster. Where's your gun? Why are you waving your gun in the air now and jumping up and down like a fucking monkey? Where's your gangsterism now? And where are you bitches at, huh? The one you always say period after every fucking sentence. Period. Where's all that shit gone? We want to see how tough you gangsters are now, man. Right? And there's a video I pulled up from one of the prophets, man. Obviously, it's from GMS Dedication. I believe it's Elder Canuck of the Bay Area camp. Another one of my favorite teachers. I love watching Elder Apostle Ramlab and Elder Canuck's videos together, man. Elder Apostle Ramlab, man, I love watching the Apostles' videos also, man. Hey, man, you need to tune in if you're sincere about this thing. But anyway, let's check this out, yeah? I'm going to play this now.
Funny, I'm seeing what Trump is doing. When y'all take these about the citizens. I don't agree with a lot of things that he's doing, especially with the homeless. He's making a law for homeless people can't sleep on the streets. Where are they going to go? Like, real talk. But one thing, I'm sitting back and I got my popcorns and I'm looking at and I'm paying attention to you killers in the hood.
Yep.
You slaughters in the hood.
Yep.
You niggas who be making all these videos talk about this, my block, niggas can't come over here, niggas can't do that. Now Donald Trump has...
Now where you motherfuckers at? Now let's see you get down. But a small portion of them are going to get down, though.
Deployed the National Guard, Army, FBI, and so many other police agencies in Washington, D.C.'s in the hood. And he's planning on doing it in other neighborhoods around the world. But my message is to you niggas now. Have the same energy in the neighborhoods around D.C. and Washington, D.C.'s in the hood. And he's planning on doing it in other neighborhoods around the world. But
planning on doing other neighborhoods around the world? Trump doesn't have authority to do that around the world. Well, I guess he's in conjunction with the other powers that be. So yeah, it'll come. It'll definitely come to the UK. It's definitely going to come to the UK. It's definitely going to come to the UK as well because, that term "usual suspects." Every time you see somebody so-called brown or black doing something, usual suspects, ship them out. The same shit. These crackers are doing their marches here in the UK too, skinhead marches and shit. It's going to get down. I'm going to show you a video in a bit, man.
My message is to you niggas now. Have the same energy. Run them off the block. Why they not checking in? Why you niggas running? Have that same energy. Y'all want the fucking police badge numbers now, but you didn't want that little girl or that boy name when you killed them. Have that same energy. Halftime ass gangsters. You put niggas in the ditch. That's why them niggas on the ditch.
At 1:05 a.m. in the morning. Look at these motherfuckers, man. The only time you should be up that late is if a man, Jake man, is with his woman in the bedroom or a hotel. I can understand that. You up in the morning, you putting in the work. What the fuck you dancing around wearing a ski mask in the middle of summer with a fucking gun in your hand? They're stupid motherfuckers, man. They're all in the same temperature, man. You know, it's like these motherfuckers are just pure gremlins, man. You know, High Priest Arya, you know, and Elder Apostle Tahar. You know, Elder Apostle Tahar touched on it. That High Priest Arya said the movie Gremlins is about so-called, basically Israelite men. Well, we won't call them Israelite men at the moment. So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men. All right, now these motherfuckers here look like that party in Gremlins, man. You know, where they're shooting up everything. I think it's part 2. One's got a mohawk, one's got a gun in his hand, other one's drinking, other one's smoking a spliff or whatever. That's you. That's that. These are Gremlins.
Welcome on, baby girl. We just put some more blocks. You got some more skills.
A few moments later.
What happened here? Oh my God!
Look at that, man. KKK, all these racist skinhead groups. They love this. They know. They watch you. They watch you, Jakes. They know about the gang signs. They make fun of you, Jakes. They know how you act. These skinheads, these KKK members, they sit back and watch your rap videos, watch you delete each other, watch you do foul shit on each other, and say the N word 1,000,001 times. They love it. They love seeing this shit. The way they see it, you guys are doing the job for them by eliminating each other. But where's your energy and your strength at then? You say, oh, we don't see color. We're not racist, but you see red and blue. You see that color then, don't you? And you delete each other. Right? But you can't delete the enemy that's coming upon you, man. You know? But Jake will rise up, man. Judah is a lion's whelp. King James Version. Genesis 49:9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Okay? The Lord is going to rouse you, Jakes, up, man. All right? Where's a video I had, man? And some of these Jakes are going to, these 2/3 Jakes are going to get down, man. They're going to delete a lot of Edomites. A lot of Jakes are going to die, but they're going to delete a lot of Edomites when things get cooking, you know? Look at that. Talking like cocktail. Look at all that anger, energy, and gunfire. Right? And all I saw was brown people there, bro. Not one peckerwood, not cracker, no nothing. You know? Now, they got the energy. It's like basically, a bully just bullying a child. But as soon as that child grows up, these bullies don't want to know. Now, these crackers are in your neighborhood. These troops are in your neighborhood. Where's all that energy now? Where's all that energy now? Like that man said, halftime ass gangsters. Let me show you this, man. This is going to kick off, man. They're going to come. Let me go to my history first. I had a video saved yesterday, right? I'm going to find it, man. Go down, man. It was a little short, bruv. It was a little short. What the fuck is it, man? I don't think I'm going to find it. No, watch later. Go to watch later. I've got it saved in the watch later. I shouldn't have gone into it now. I should have made a separate video on that. But then I'm just. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I don't think it's here, man. I had it saved, didn't I? Yeah, I can't find it, man. I'll make a separate video on it then. Anyway.
Year in 60. Federal takeover of Washington, D.C.'s police department, along with the deployment of National Guard troops in the nation's capital. It's an effort to fight what he believes is out of
Copyright fair use.
control crime.
And we're getting rid of the slums, too. We have slums here. We're getting rid of them. I know it's not politically correct. You'll say, oh, so terrible. No, we're getting rid of the slums where they live.
The crackdown also comes with the promise of using federal police and agents in city streets, a pledge to bring an active military if necessary, and Trump didn't rule out trying to do the same in other cities.
We have other cities also that are bad, very bad. You look at Chicago, how bad it is. You look at Los Angeles, how bad it is. We have other cities that are very bad.
Chicago, Los Angeles, Chicago. Who's there? Bunch of blacks, Hispanics, right? LA, who's there? Los Angeles is a Spanish name in itself, right? Blacks, Hispanics, all right? Let's see what else he says.
New York has a problem.
New York has a problem. Who's that full of? Blacks and Hispanics, Italians, whatever, right? Whole bunch of ethnicities, right? But mainly so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, right? He didn't say Idaho. He didn't say, I don't know, Ohio or some shit. He didn't say, no, he didn't say, I don't know, was it Denver, Colorado, Boulder, Denver, Colorado, which I believe is quite of a honky area. He didn't say that, when there's probably flipping cannibals and PDF file, Edomites there, do all sorts of foul shit. But they ain't going to do that. They're coming for you Israelites. That's how they do it, divide and conquer. Let's focus on Northern Kingdom first. Oh, they're the biggest, they're 10 tribes, let's get them first. Now they're working on them. Now let's get the Southern Kingdom. Now they're coming for yous. They're coming for you Jamaicans and you Haitians. Why? Because you're from a different country. Then they're going to come for you so-called Black Americans, man. All right, they come for all the tribes.
We're starting very strongly with D.C., and we're going to clean it up real quick.
A recent alleged attack on a former Doge staffer in D.C. who was left.
And this is probably some bullshit. It's probably some makeup. Now they show the so-called white man. Okay, they choose a blonde, frail, young, so-called white man wearing white pants. With some they chuck some blood all over him or whatever, right? Allegedly, we know how Esau gets down. All right, these are all tricks. Okay, they show him on the floor. All right, but they don't talk about the murders and the things that they've done to the Black, Hispanic, and Native. All right, but I don't want to deviate. But this is what they're showing. All right, to capture the emotions of the so-called white man, to capture the emotions of so-called white people around the world, because they're joining and chiming in these conversations as well. Yeah, England is behind America. Ireland is behind America. We're behind you, America. Get your country back. Then Americans say, oh, we're behind you, England. Get it back. Get rid of the usual suspects.
Left bloodied after trying to stop a carjacking seems to be playing into the federalization.
Okay, the so-called white man was stopping a carjacking. So they're making him the hero. Who created the problems with regards to carjacking in the first place? These crackers create all the problems, and who does all the marches? These same crackers that create the problems.
Push. The city also had to implement curfews for minors after large groups of teenagers had been vandalizing different areas.
And even Elder Manatazak Bar from the South Carolina camp said that there's a curfew in his neck of the woods. And now there's a curfew here. Troops, curfew, all right? Washington, LA, New York, Chicago, etc., etc., etc. What does that sound to you? Martial law. and it's going to amplify. These are just the beginning stages where they're not bothering you at the moment. They're going to very soon start putting, a foot up your ass, and then you're going to find out that, okay, shit, we got some serious problems. Then you're going to find out then.
The administration says they'll try to do away with no cash bail nationwide while trying to enforce harsher punishments for young people starting in D.C.
They know that we can't touch them. Why? Because the laws are weak. We need to go after
Janine Pirro. This motherfucker's like 8 years old as well, I think.
The D.C. Council and their absurd laws.
D.C. police data shows violent crime is trending down, although the White House disputes those numbers.
I believe that the president's view of D.C. is shaped by his COVID era experience during his first term. We experienced a crime spike post-COVID. We have been able to reverse that 2023 crime spike.
The president has the authority to take over the D.C. Police Department under the Home Rule Act for 48 hours or up to 30 days. Anything longer would need approval from Congress. Reporting in Washington.
Grip, stability, precision. That's the essence of driving. Lawfin.
I'm Matt Gelka.
Trump's new orders now boost enforcement even more. 7 News' Josh Chapin picks up our team coverage. And Josh, the mayor just held her own press conference within the last hour. At 4, you mentioned how she talked about the president's first term during the pandemic, how she believes that may have shaped his view of crime in the district. Break down what else she's saying now in response to this federal takeover.
Well, Megan, the federal takeover today described by Mayor Bowser and MPD Chief Pamela Smith as more of a partnership. We pressed Mayor Bowser about what she meant by that, and she said that she is limited in what she can do, that she must comply with the law given the limited powers of D.C. and her government. After our repeated requests for interviews over the past few days, the mayor finally spoke to a room full of reporters this afternoon inside the Wilson building. She was joined by her police and fire chiefs. The mayor drilling down once again that crime numbers are at a historic low as contrasted with what the president said. The mayor said, during special times of emergency, which the president declared today, she must give the services of the MPD to the federal government. But she was clear that Pamela Smith is still the chief in charge. The chief saying over the next 30 days, you'll see an increased police presence all over the district. She also said this.
We have a relationship with our community that is very important to us, our community members. And so having our Metropolitan Police Department working alongside of our federal partners who have come into the city to really help us assess and deal with the crime, that some of the crime spikes that we have, we will work alongside them.
DC's police union supports the president's recognition of the crime crisis as laid out in the statement that you see on your screen there. They hope that the federal intervention is temporary and it paves the way to fix bad reform legislation. We will hear more from the police union as well as from Mayor Bowser when we see you at 6 o'clock. Scott and Megan, back to you.
All right, Josh, thank you for your coverage there. We look forward to those updates. Well, DC's top leadership will likely have to testify in an upcoming hearing on the city's safety. Chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, posted on X that they're planning to hold the hearing next month with the district attorney general, the council chairman, and the mayor.
So lucky for that.
I'm Matt Gelka in Washington, where DC.
All right. So regarding National Guard, so things are going to be on and popping. There was another video I was going to show you of a racist outburst from a British perspective, but I'll make a separate video on that because I can't find it right now. Nevertheless, I'm just going to read a couple more scriptures. Where are we? There was another Wisdom of Solomon scripture. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Wisdom of Solomon 3:19. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon 3:19. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. And this is going to be, it's going to be like killing two birds with one stone. A lot of the wire ends, a lot of them are going to be used as a weaponry against the heathen enemy, right? And then at the same time, the Lord is going to delete those same wire ends, okay? They're going to serve a purpose, all right? So the purge has already begun. It's going to be amplified. And this is that same unrighteous generation that's being, their portraits are, their pictures are being put all over world news, and they're making you so-called black Hispanics and natives, especially so-called black men, because you're the head tribe, tribe of Judah, be the problem of the earth. Every time there's some kind of issue, they're gonna put the cameras on you, which you are the problem, right? But not of the earth. The whole problem of the earth is a so-called white man. But the Lord is going to create it where you basically cancel each other out to a certain degree, And Esau's going to get down, but Jake is going to get down too when the time comes, because Judah is the lion's whelp. Who shall rouse him up, right? All right. Let's see if there's anything else. There was one more, maybe. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. That same unrighteous generation. Okay, so these are the beginning stages, man. I wouldn't be surprised in another few weeks something like that happens around London. They'll probably concentrate on South London. South London, Brixton is a very big, huge hub of Southern Kingdom, Benjamin especially, that have been here for generations. Judah as well, Nigeria, Ghana, that have been here for a few generations as well. And recent newcomers. You've got Israelite foreigners amongst them that live in the same projects, or what we call here in the UK, council estates, right? And also Northern Kingdom that have had neighborhoods here in the UK for about 20 to 25 years as a collective. All right, so South London and East London are going to be primal areas where Jake is a huge bunch of Jake there, right? They're pretty much going to touch every part of London because, remember, England is a small island, but those are going to be the core areas. And West London, I would say South, East, and West is going to be touched, with troops, which will be soon as well because, things are quite crazy over here as well. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak Badash. We get one more scripture. These are the beginnings of sorrows, King James Version. Matthew 24 and 5. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And we can see all these things happening, right? Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay? All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right? And this is just another method, right, that Esau is deploying because Esau is the Lord's sword. Okay? He is, where a lot of our people are going to die. And this is one of the methods, because Esau, the so-called white man, is Yahweh Bashim Yahshai's sword to punish you 2/3 Jakes. Let's go to Zechariah 13 and 8 and 13 and 9. Zechariah 13 and 8 and 13 and 9, King James Version. I just want to read this, the two parts. Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. Verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is my power. So 2 parts, 66.6%, 666, are going to be deleted in a multitude of ways. The final way would be the missiles, when those 200 million warheads hit America. Okay, but prior to that happening, okay, there's going to be a multitude of ways the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is going to kill you 2/3. But the 1/3, the 33%, are going to make it through the trials and tribulations and the hurdles and the hoops that they've got to jump through. They're going to be refined as silver, and they're going to be tried like gold. They're going to be purified, and they're going to call on the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. They ain't going to call on no fucking Jebus or Ahia Asher Ahia or Yah. They're going to call on Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, because we acknowledge our King Yahweh Shai, man. We bow down to Yahweh Shai. All right, we worship Yahweh Shai. You damn right we do. We worship Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. All right, okay. Man, you motherfuckers make me sick. Sorry I had to say that, just get down like that. Man, the Lord sacrificed himself, and here you motherfuckers deny his sacrifice, man. Man, fuck you people that, that are like that. But anyway, all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash. Mawatha Bad Baba, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom.